All right, we're live. Hello, happy Friday, everybody. It's time for your HMG Weekly Wrap-Up. We are live at the Empowered Podcasting event that's starting technically today. Registration's this afternoon, but we are in Charlotte, North Carolina, beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Never really been down here other than just layovers at the airport, so it's been kind of nice walking around. Got in yesterday and walked around a little bit.
Hello.
Those of you probably remember know Shay Sparks from the Shay Sparks Show, part of the HMG family. I'm going to turn this over just a little bit so you can see more.
All the glory of the hair.
And your boy forgot his little tripod thing, so this is what we're doing today.
Well, when in Rome, you just wing it.
We're
right?
just winging.
Yeah.
It's what we do.
It's what we do best.
It's what, yeah. We do something. But Friday, and one thing I've noticed about the South being down here, people, beautiful people, food's amazing.
Yeah.
Humidity is unbearable.
Well, so live in Florida.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah. I mean, I walked outside and I stood there and I took a breath and I started sweating.
Sweating, yeah.
A bit chilly this morning.
I was like,
Yeah.
great weight loss program, I would think.
it is.
Layer up and walk the block and, sweat it out. Drink lots of water is going to be
The key.
the key.
Yeah,
As
with
the
ice.
phone, my water bottle's propping up the phone so we could do this show for you all this morning. So, anyway,
So, may I ask a question?
you may.
So we're here for a podcasting conference.
Yeah.
And we met at a podcasting conference 4 years ago.
We did.
Right?
Yep.
And I'm just curious, like, how important is it to connect with other podcasters at a conference or community or anything like that? How important is it to you?
I think when you're in this line of work, well, let me back up. I think networking in general, going to events is anytime you get the opportunity to do any type of networking,
Yeah.
is a great opportunity. I kind of thrive on it. I love going to events because you and it's weird because I'm, as you so elegantly put it when we first met, I have resting bitch face.
Yeah, he does.
when I walk into the room, and it's just me kind of getting the lay of the land. I'm not much of the icebreaker type. I'm usually pretty shy, believe it or not.
Is that what you call it? Shy? Okay, got it. That's code word. Okay, shy.
Ken, what's up, brother? Good morning to you. Appreciate you. I'm not the icebreaker type. If the ice is broken, then I can kind of go with the flow and feed off of that. But I think going to events is important, especially as a business owner. Mm-hmm. But you got to pick and choose your events. You go to certain events. I like to say backpack them because there's two things that I look at when you go to an event.
Okay.
Is this an event that I can support in the future, and is it an event that I would buy space like a table or a booth or
Got
something
it.
like that, in the future? So I think you should go to as many events as you can, being financially responsible, of course.
Right.
This came up. This is the first time that they're doing this particular event.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a cool idea. You're speaking.
Yes, I am.
What's your topic?
I'm speaking on the art of the interview.
You had to think about
I
it. Really?
did.
Okay.
Well, so many things that I
thought we
could
practiced
speak on.
that, but that's-
So many things that I could speak on. So it's like, okay, which one am I gonna actually say?
Yeah.
So I'm speaking on the art of the interview and how that we are we make craft.
Yeah.
Out of our words, what we're saying.
Yeah.
Because clearly I can't do that yet this morning.
Right.
I don't have enough coffee.
Have another drink of coffee. No, but back to your question with the networking side of things, I think it's important to network as a business owner, because you don't. And here's what I like about it is, you get to meet some pretty cool people.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised, like, oh, you sit down and a few things happen. One, you realize you're like, hey, they got a great idea. I want to work with that person, or I've never thought about doing that. Maybe I can incorporate that myself. I've been doing the podcasting thing for quite a while, over a decade, and I like coming to them now because it's like I learned there's so much has changed in the last decade. There's easier ways of doing things. There's quicker way of doing things. You know, I'm kind of old school on a lot of stuff, but it's been great meeting people and learning what kind of the new, I don't want to say trend, but the new stuff is. You know what I mean? Especially AI taking over,
Right.
and you get to learn a lot of that stuff from people that are in the same field.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to share. So
Yeah.
when
well, I
we
was
met,
I was kind of thinking you would.
well,
Tina, morning, sis.
when we met at a podcast conference that was really narrowed down to a niche. And when we decided that we were gonna, stay in contact and connect afterwards, we were like, I mean, I asked you the question. I don't know if you remember. I was like, why aren't you having your own conference? And so, I am just gonna put it out to Facebook land. Feel free to chime in the chat. Would you attend a Heroes Media Group conference? Because I think this is something that needs to happen in 25-ish, maybe. And I'm not putting him under the pressure.
Not at all.
But
Not at all.
Yeah, but why not? We're here.
Jeez.
So let's just talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. Because for me, why it's so important to be in person and connect with people is, as you know, every conference I go to is to meet 500 of my new best friends. But really, it's that connection piece.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, one, people aren't who they are in person as they are online, number one.
Yeah.
But number two, you have no idea where it's going to go. I mean, 4.5 years ago when I met you with the resting bitch face in full 3-piece suit, right? I would have never have guessed that I'd be sitting here in Charlotte, and this is our full-time gig of podcasting.
Yeah, now
right?
I mean,
like I'm full-time
we
podcasting.
just last time we saw each other was in Denver in August.
Right.
Right. So
right.
I mean, we've attended these together quite a bit.
Yeah, and you've given me the unofficial name of mayor. Mayor.
We go to these events, and it's funny because she knows everybody. She's been to more of these events than myself. I'm starting to get into these more on a personal level because I enjoy doing them and speaking every now and then when I get the opportunity. I've kind of come out of my shell.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know. It's turning over a new leaf, trying to be out in public more. But again,
don't let the sun scare you.
Yeah, it's I'm melting.
That's water.
Yeah.
The sun is more Dracula.
That's sweat.
Yeah.
But it's I like coming to these because it's, like I said, it's you get to, it helps grow your business, and it's definitely helped with us. Gabe, what's up, brother? Appreciate you.
Well, and you said a keyword there, grow, and I think anytime that you go somewhere new, especially a conference, you're stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And that in itself is growing. Like, I've never been to Charlotte. My friend and I, who you'll meet in a minute, we drove up from Florida to Charlotte, and it's like, we get into the mountains, it's like, oh, I can't take a nap yet. I got to see the mountains. Like, how cool is that? And just by experiencing those types of things, you are growing personally.
Right.
Right? And then not to mention, like, navigating your way around a new city, figuring out where to go, what to do, all the things.
And the people that you meet just out away from the conference itself because you're in a different city.
Right. For an example, we were at Chick-fil-A for breakfast yesterday morning, and I met one of my first new best friend of the weekend, Olga. So shout out to Olga at Chick-fil-A in Brunswick, Georgia. She was amazing. She's retired. I heard her whole story in a matter of 5 minutes because as podcasters, isn't that kind of what we do? But to be honest, all I did was say hi, and that it goes from there, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing about stepping out of your comfort zone, going to these conferences, is the growth that you get personally. And your shield that we put around ourselves does start to kind of come down because you're feeling more confident in what you're doing.
Sure. I mean, I can see what you say from that. I see shield, and it's like I put my shield down. It's like, oh, I'm just resting bitch face, standoffish.
Yeah.
Anyway, which isn't a good way to be when you're in a customer service type, field anyway. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I think I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
With you going up on stage.
We're gonna rock it.
Yeah, I think you'll do good, and interested to meet some of the other speakers that are here. We were talking with Mark earlier, who was putting on the show, and whatnot.
Crazy.
And
well
we're
then.
gonna, so since you're saying
Saying
hi, we're
hi.
gonna put you on the spot. We're live right now on
Hi.
Facebook.
Oh, wow. Sorry to interrupt the
That's
live.
all right. You're good. Say hello to everybody. He's putting on the event, and we're excited to be here. So
I'm so happy
thank
to see
for
you guys.
having us.
Yeah.
It's a good way to start the morning. It really was.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So
Excellent. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I don't
Yeah.
want to interrupt. I'll let
no,
you guys
you're good. You're good.
We're just chatting it up.
We're- Winging
Like-
it today.
I love it.
Surprising. We're in the talking business.
Yeah. So I think one of the other what was I going to say now?
Reasons for
Well,
podcast
let me ask you this:
conferences.
out
yeah.
of the other speakers that are here, you've looked at it. What else do you think is important? And this is for those of you that are. We've had a few questions this week about starting podcasts and whatnot, and I've kind of held off on answering that. But what are you looking forward to this particular, other than you
So-
going up and speaking?
So, well, again, I love to connect
Yeah.
with people, but my goal is to really connect with newbies, 100 shows and under, to really help them grow personally and grow their show. I think when you get to that year mark, or you get to that 25 show, where there's always a number, right? That people are like, ugh, I'm done, or they like, I'm burnt out, and
But
so
I don't think people realize like the work that goes into it.
Exactly.
Like I've probably talked more people out of doing a show than doing
Right.
it, because I look at it like it's a part-time job
right,
because of everything. And if you don't have the funds, which often most people don't have the money to hire a
Right.
production team or whatnot, there's so many other things that kind of go into play with it. If you're looking for a production team, go to heroesmediagroup.com. Go ahead and send us a message, and we'll get back to you. Shameless plug.
But I want to say something about that though, because when we're solo,
Yeah.
right, we're doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
We feel like we're isolated and we're on an island, and there's no one else experiencing this. Like no one has any idea what I'm going through, and I feel like that is why it's so important to get together.
There's only about
in this.
3,500 people a day that are trying to start
Exactly,
podcasts.
exactly.
So you're not alone. in
Exactly,
that
and I
aspect.
think that's the crucial part, is for people to understand that they're not alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I get questions asked all the time from new podcasters like, well, how do you keep going? Like, how do you keep motivated? How do you do this? And, I have different strategies for different mind frames of what I'm in.
Yeah.
So it really just depends. So for me, it's about really connecting with people who are like,
Yeah.
or they can't wait to get started, but they're kind of like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, okay, great. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, who are you most excited to?
You, obviously. I mean, that's
Obviously,
you
that's a
came down
given.
here, yeah, I came down to critique what you.
Yeah. You got your notepad ready to go.
It's
Like,
like, okay.
never say this again,
Yeah.
Shay. That's not right. No,
I'm gonna hold up cues kind of as signs in the back.
I love it. You're running out of time.
Yeah.
Shut up.
30 seconds. No, but I Simona has got a friend, Simona, who's
Yeah.
going to be here. She's doing a YouTube, something about YouTube, I think.
Yeah. And our friend Alex.
And Alex
Alex
is going
is
to be
gonna
here.
be
Yeah,
here.
Alex is going to be here as well. Always good to see him. He's that guy's a beast.
Yeah.
He's
Amazing.
I don't want to say new, but he's been around for a couple years now. But
Yeah.
what he's done in the short amount of time in this type of
Yes.
business is mind blowing. Like, I mean, he really is a
Yeah.
machine with Podmatch to start, and then everything else that has fallen in line after that has been fun to watch, quite frankly.
Yeah.
It's an interesting time. I think people. One of the things I read the other day was, how many people are listening to podcasts? Or are podcasts still growing? Is it still a thing? And like a lot of people still don't. And I'm surprised at how many people don't know what podcasts are still.
I know.
And they've been around since 2006, 2004, 2006, and you're seeing more companies now starting to get out of like the radio, TV side of things and move into some of the podcasters and whatnot. And you got to be realistic when you get into this business. It's a kind of a long-term.
Absolutely, it's a marathon.
It's a marathon,
not a sprint.
And I've seen people come and go. I've seen other companies, networks come and go. I feel blessed that I get to do this on a weekly, coming on these lives. Although I was hell bent on not doing a live, ever, and then people just kind of wore me down, and now I get like stressed if I don't do one on a Friday. So
and last night you were like, "Well, I'm not prepared," and I'm like, "Well, too bad. We're gonna do it
she's
anyway."
She's great at throwing me. Let's just take the mic away from you right now because.
Woo! Gonna throw you under the bus over and over.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as she said, I was not prepared for this.
But I want to shout out to Alex and Podmatch because they help people grow. They help your podcast grow. They help you be on shows, and they are such an amazing company for what they're doing. And Alex is so extremely passionate about it. And fun fact. How many ever years ago? Was that 4 years ago? He was on Zoom for the first time with me. Had never been on Zoom before. And we had our
really?
first conversation.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, well, I've never used this before. And I'm like, oh, I'm a pro.
Yeah,
Let me help you out. So
it's
he's just so
like
great.
Night and day watching him grow. He's kind of like the younger brother of the group when you think about it.
For real. Yeah.
So anyway, what else?
What else do we talk about? Well, Charlotte, like you said, is lovely, absolutely lovely. So shout out to the city of Charlotte.
Yeah, gorgeous.
What an amazing city.
We're South Park of Charlotte.
Yes.
Little South Park section, I believe.
Not to be confused with the TV show.
Yeah. We're not in.
No.
We're not in that South Park. That'd be
even funnier.
That'd be hilarious.
And I will say, this hotel is absolutely stunning that we get to be in for this weekend. And, again, just a shout out to Mark, who you just saw a little bit ago, for putting this all together, for having the vision for it, for setting the goal, for creating the team who said, who wants to be a part of this? And they were like, yeah, me.
So let's go back to, since you're talking about Mark and events, and you just so elegantly threw me under the bus earlier about...
It's part of my job description.
Yeah. Doing an HMG conference.
Yeah.
So it's been discussed with some mutual friends that we have. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what's stopping me from doing it. Quite frankly, I think part of it is I've done. Like I've helped arrange golf tournaments and stuff, and I know what that entails.
Sure.
Right. But then, like, to do something like this, you got to rent out a floor of a hotel or book so many rooms and do this, and this, and then it's like finding the sponsor. This isn't. I've seen stuff put together in 90 days, but you're really stressing and pulling your hair out. You really, to do something. In my mind, what I would want HMG to look like, as elaborate as it would be, is you need you need a team and probably a year to really put it together. And I see Dan over there looking at it like, okay, cool. So we're gonna do a year from now.
We're gonna do a year
Adam
from
said
now.
It. It's live,
and
so
it's
true.
gonna go on my calendar
And
right
it's
now.
like, I'm gonna shut up now.
Well, and I will say this because I have worked behind the scenes with some other podcast conferences.
Yeah.
They have a full-time event planner.
Yeah.
So just know that you don't have to lift all the heavy weight yourself.
No, but you have to have the funds to do that. Too,
Or
you know?
you ask for volunteers of your audience, which is how they start.
Yeah.
Of hey, who loves to
All right, so
plan events.
Those of you that are watching right now, and those of you that will watch this throughout the weekend, there's a bunch of you, and shows HMG family that's out there, the shows that are on there, how many of you, leave a comment below if you want to do or would like to see an HMG conference or HMG event of some sort in 2025. Let us know. Leave a comment below. But here's what I'm going to ask. Leave a comment below
And
and what city you would like to have it in.
ooh, I like that. That's a great idea.
Because I'd do it anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Orlando, possibly.
Nah.
No.
Let's-
Okay.
let me retract that last statement. Let's
Maybe Jacksonville. Maybe.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
Tampa.
Would be, Florida wouldn't be bad. Dallas, Texas would be all right.
Dallas. Okay.
Somewhere Midland.
Yeah.
Maybe it's where everybody can kind
Kansas City. Yeah. Sure.
Memphis.
of. Nashville.
Nashville.
I'd
Yeah.
probably do one in
Nashville's a great one.
Nashville. But nonetheless, anyway, so if you see this, you go down. Ken says I work for coffee.
Okay. See? Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Yes. See, you just say I need volunteers,
As did you.
and we could have this. We could
I
have
got-
this
I
planned
got
by
you-
the end of the
I got
weekend.
you covered, brother. And fortunately, I know you're a coffee guy, so I'll make sure that you get that taken care of.
I love that. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
and,
but I think we, that's something we can start looking at. you
Yeah.
know. And here's the other thing that I ask of you guys and family. Lance Henderson, there. Watch, Lance is going to ask for a discount on the coffee. Watch.
What?
It's going to happen.
He says what?
Those of you that if you want us to do an HMG event in 2025, what would you like to see at the event?
Yes, that's
Is the
my
other
main
thing.
concern.
Is there a theme that you would like us to do? Now remember, HMG heroes, community heroes, those that support, veterans, firefighters, first responders. I'd like to keep kind of something in that realm of things.
Yeah.
And everybody's invited. You don't necessarily have to be
Well,
in that community per se, but support of them. As
yeah.
Well,
I want to throw in there what I would like to see.
okay.
Not just podcasting, because I'm just
Yeah.
including me in this. We are a media group. It's not just podcasting, it's YouTube creation, it's books, it's documentaries, it's anything to do with any kind of media, right? And so yeah, it's really about content
So
creation
kind of like
of some
the
sort.
creator side of things.
Yeah, and not just a podcast, quote unquote, conference,
Yeah,
which is
this
fantastic. Don't get me
isn't
wrong,
just-
but it would.
If we do something, it wouldn't be just for podcasters.
Yeah, it's a content creator.
we would
It's
have that,
creators.
yeah.
It's a creative.
Whether
conference.
here's the other thing, and when I say creators, the way I think of it is if you have a business, what is it that you're creating? Are you maybe you're into woodworking, maybe you do apparel or stickers or you're creating something, poetry, books,
Yeah.
audiobooks, jewelry,
Yeah.
anything in that sense. I'd like to see that. That's kind of
Agreed.
what we would do, and what I picture this being is just having like a big conference room
Yeah.
floor type where
Okay.
people can have tables and you can show people your artwork. You can show people what it is that you've created and whatnot. So.
I love this. I love that you're planning it on air right now, so it's not just me that's hearing all the amazingness
Yeah,
that you see in
yeah,
there,
it's-
so everyone else can get
Yeah.
the big picture view as well. So
What I tell you?
What'd he say?
What I say Lance was going to do? It's discount coffee. Hey, let's see that fade. Yeah, it's so. Glad
Lance,
glad to have you on, brother.
thanks for being here.
So 2025, what is it that you guys would like to see? All right, we got to move on.
Yeah.
I have to talk about the elephant in the room because it wouldn't be like me to bring up a news topic for you guys today. And so much has happened this week. You had, oh God, I knew I should have wrote this down. Who was it? Somebody said, well, I won't talk about whoever said the firearms thing is like I don't know, I wanted to say the Surgeon General, but I don't think that's it.
It was the Surgeon General.
Was this the Surgeon General?
Recently, yeah, last week.
Okay, so Surgeon General said that firearms are the most deadliest thing. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna skip
Wow.
that.
Okay.
Last night, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Oh, jeez.
Last night, I totally forgot that the presidential debate was on. Trump and Biden were on, and it was hosted by CNN. And I thought this was going to be very one-sided. I'll be honest with you guys. I watched about 10 minutes of it before I had to shut it off because it was just, I couldn't get into it. It was interesting to watch, and at the same time, it was kind of sad. Let me explain. Whatever your political affiliation is, it doesn't. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Do you? Great. I feel like it was probably one-sided, but at the same time, I feel like there was some elderly abuse.
So I didn't
going
see
on.
it, but I can say that as
Ken?
far as an independent, I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of either one, so I'm not surprised it went like it would.
It was.
So yeah,
I think there was.
that's all I have to say is yeah.
Oh, Wes. Wes is a good dude. Disappointed there's no bow tie.
Right?
I told you I forgot everything.
Every Friday, and there's no bow tie.
Lance, it is elderly abuse.
Yeah.
It was, and again, political. Whatever you decide is that. I'm just saying, it was kind of one-sided because it felt like one person couldn't give a coherent answer. And it was whether you liked either one of them or you hate both of them. It doesn't matter. It was one of them was clearly like you should not have somebody up there. I felt like it was elderly abuse.
Yeah.
And I'll personally, I'm not necessarily a fan of President Biden, but at the same time, I don't think that's the right thing to do. And then you turn and you listen to social media this morning. You listen to the news this morning, and they've all but written him off.
Wow.
And it would, so in coming from that particular network, it's not what I expected. I expected it to be very one-sided and very pro liberal and whatnot, and I didn't get that vibe necessarily last night. Lance, we're in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. So that being said, that's all I'm going to say about that. If you guys have opinions on it, please leave them. But remember, if we're be respectful. If somebody leaves a comment, you don't necessarily agree with it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Make sure you guys check out all the shows. Heroes Media Group. Tony, what's up, brother? Appreciate you. HeroesMediaGroup.com. We got a lot of great newer shows on the network, and I'm not going to go through like I normally do all the shows what covered this week. I'm going to just name a few, but a lot of new shows. I want to give highlights to Bump in the Road. That's a newer show. SeniorLivingGuide.com. Great new show. Although I'm a little skeptical on that. Darlene said that senior living now they start from 45 and older.
Yeah, no.
I had some problems.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna disagree with that.
but I will say this: people our age, that's like we don't normally think about that stuff. That's really stuff you really need to think about. Or you have parents that are seniors.
Yeah.
It's a very educational show.
Well, we're kind of that sandwich generation, right? We're taking care
Yeah.
of kids and our parents all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's something you should check out. Professional Rule Breaker. Great episodes. Homefront Sit Rep. You can find their show. They do a Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday, and Thursday. David has done a fantastic job with that show. You can catch them live right here on our Heroes Media Group Facebook page as well on those nights. Let's see here. Joe Evans Show. Beyond the Rut, another one. Annette, good morning to you. Appreciate you.
And the Shay Sparks Show, just saying.
Shay Sparks it, well, yeah. And you have some newer stuff that you're working on.
Yes, I do. I have season 11 coming out soon, guys. Can't even believe it.
You did, well, you kind of, so we did
I
a
did a
season,
pre-11
we did a
launch.
pre-season
Yes,
11.
yes.
And you actually had Mark on.
I did have Mark, the gentleman who
last week.
started it. Yes.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah, great episode. I have Janaid, our friend Janaid.
Yes.
That went live, and Janaid, when you watch this, your show's live. I totally
Oops, forgot to tell you.
Surprise, your show's live. That's the Decision Hour. Check that out. Beyond the Rut, the Arms Room Show, the OG show of HMG. People's Patriot Project, Chasing Happiness, Label Free podcast.
Label Free. She is blowing up.
she
Deanna,
is
you
like,
are
oh
amazing,
my
girl.
God.
I love you to pieces.
Deanna, and then Because Bikers Matter podcast. I love that one.
Great one.
Vegas had Horny Mike from Counts Customs on. Yeah, it's a great show. And if you ride motorcycles or you love helping kid organizations or veteran organizations, it's just a fun show. People's Patriot Project. I don't think I mentioned them yet, and we got more coming. Patriots Inside the Wire. Gold Star Mother.
Oh yeah.
On and she's doing a couple of shows. So we're growing, and we have some. I said now for about 6 months. We got a new website coming.
Yeah. It'll
we
happen when it happens.
And I kind of took a step back from it because we had some IT stuff that we had to figure out and work out. I'm not an IT guy, believe it or not. I know, shocker to some of you, but I'm not. I can.
No, you're the face of the media. Yeah.
And I'm sorry for that. I truly am. We have some new stuff coming up, and we're excited because we got a lot of new products that we're offering, and we're putting packages together as well.
Yeah.
Wesley. Hey, Rich, I cannot forget Rich's show, the Misfit Nation podcast.
Yes.
Rich does a fantastic job, and he's got such a great team. And they're heading out to. Rich, I love it. You guys have a great time this weekend. Rich is going out to NASCAR in Nashville.
Nice.
NASCAR in Nashville. Yeah, NASCAR in Nashville this weekend. Misfit Nation podcast. You want to talk about another just a phenom. He does 3-4 shows, and you look at his schedule. I'm not gonna put it out there, but he's got shows, and he's kind of like you with plan stuff like all right,
shows for years.
Yeah, in 2026 we have this person that's going to be coming on.
That's
so
awesome.
he's a great job, Rich.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Wesley Young, shout out to Band of Heroes Outdoors. They do a lot of great nonprofit organization. They take heroes out, or veterans out hunting and fishing trips.
Yeah.
And I think, Wes, if you're still on, how many did you do last year? I think it was 18 to 25.
Wow.
And they go all over the country, and they have their first one, I think, is happening later this year. They're taking a group to Africa to do a safari hunt. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's
Very
absolutely amazing. But I met Wes at the Great American Outdoor Expo. So they do stuff up there. And I got to give a shout out to Team Addo, my buddy James Boggs. Team Addo, they got their event, annual fishing event coming up end of September. I believe it's September 20th and 21st. But go to teamaddo.org. Shout out to Gallant Few, another great organization. And then we're slowly getting ours going, HMG. But yeah, Wes. All right, good stuff, brother. Keep up the good work.
So before we log off, I want you to
we're going to bring
chat someone else.
I just wanted to make sure I covered everything with the show.
Well, I want to shout out to Gallant View because I still have the carabiner that we had, from 3 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
From there, and it's...
Oh, that's right.
I
forgot about that.
It's still, fantastic that I still have it, so thank you.
Let's see. We took them to March to Africa, and we're doing a Purple Heart African hunt next year. That's
awesome.
That's so cool.
I love that.
So who let's bring on?
So let me introduce him, and then I'll hand the mic over, if that's okay.
Yes, please, go.
So who you're about to meet is my buddy, Dan Warheide. He has the podcast, Narrowing the Divide. He is an Army veteran, retired, and he's just an amazing coach,
Good dude.
A fantastic father, and all around, like you said, Adam, good dude.
Yeah.
And he's one of my very dear friends. So I'm going to pass the mic, as we like to do in podcast world, and hand it over to him. And I'm going to step out. Oh, that was the
Thank
chair,
you.
by the way.
Are you sure that was the chair? Oh, I don't have a collar, so
That's
let's
all
see how
right.
this works. Might just have to hold on to it. Oh, there
You
we
can do
go.
that.
I think
There
I
you
got
go.
it.
Dan, welcome.
Thanks.
Appreciate you
I don't
jumping
know.
on.
This might be a mistake. I'm the biggest contrarian you've met yet.
So, what we really want to know is, how was the drive with Shay yesterday?
If you don't mind stopping roughly every hour, and driving into new places, like we switched interstates,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh my God, I can't take a nap yet. I gotta wait and see what comes around the corner. It's like, well, it'd be another truck stop. Another truck stop.
I don't want to miss anything. She's like one of those Garfield stick 'em things up the window, just looking at everything that goes by.
Well, I have to be honest and say that Shay's like one of my best friends,
Yeah.
and she's really great. It's not bad to travel with at all. It was.
Right on.
We had a great time. And Charlotte, by the way, is beautiful.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But they don't have anything to compete with our beach sunrises. That's all I have to
Oh,
say
that's
about
right. Yeah.
that.
So you guys are down in Florida. They both drove up from Florida yesterday.
Space Coast.
Yeah. So, Army veteran.
Yes.
Can you say anything on that? What you did?
I was in the Army.
Army? How many years?
I did 16 and a half years. I was in Intel, so started out as a 98 Charlie, and then they converted us to 35 November when they redid all their MOS nomenclatures for whatever reason.
Yeah. Because they needed something to do.
Yeah, I did, and I did quite a bit more than that. I was
Yeah.
a master resiliency trainer for several years. I was a victim advocate for what started out as the UVA program back in 07, 08, and then transitioned into the SHARP program when Congress got involved. I did that for roughly 13 years of my career.
Oh, wow. And when did you retire? What year?
2018,
2018. Nice. So pretty recent.
fairly,
Yeah.
in the
Nice.
grand scheme of things. And
Well,
then,
thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Nice.
Likewise.
Now-
And anyone else out there who is a part of that world. And I heard you say, we talked about it yesterday, but you have a Gold Star mom, so
Yeah.
I just want to shout out to her as well.
Yeah. What? Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Narrowing the Divide. Yeah,
Yeah.
my podcast is the easiest way to explain it. And if you go look at the description right now, it's probably horrible. But the best way to explain it is I'm trying to refine it. It's more about, you can go anywhere and guest on a podcast and share your experience and your expertise.
Yeah.
I don't want you to do that on my podcast. I want to talk about the turning point in your life, and then the next thoughts, the next feelings, the next emotions that came as a result of that turning point before you started on the course or the path
wow.
to where you are. So like that messy middle, kind of.
Yeah.
But I want to spend some time there and just really dig into what are the things you were facing, how did you overcome those?
Yeah. What got you into podcasting? What was yeah, let's start there. What got you into podcasting?
That's a good question. So initially, when I first, so this is my second podcast. The first one, I took a hiatus about 2.5 years from coaching, from podcasting, all of the stuff. And for me, it's been an interesting journey. But I started podcasting as a piece of my business.
Yeah.
You know, the idea that my podcast could help me produce additional business results and all of those things, and the potential for sponsorships, you know, probably what a lot of people think of when they think of starting a podcast.
Makes sense. I think I tried to think back when I first got into the one that I'm doing now, and it was more or less just sharing stories, you know, and I think that's the cool thing about doing it. You know, I think with podcasting, there's so many different approaches that I think you can take to it. And it depends on really what your niche is, or if you have a niche. First off, and second is, you know, I see some where it's kind of like you get to escape and be somebody else for a little while, and that can be fun. can be dangerous too. And the other part of it is just getting to know people and sharing their stories and having a platform that they don't necessarily have to share what it is that they're doing or what it is that they're trying to accomplish. And I think the cool thing about the podcasting world is it opens it up, one, everybody, and two, you can learn so much from people that you know. I've had people that were Hollywood actors and directors to guys like veterans, our veteran community, down to like my neighbor, and everything in between. And you take away from every episode, and I think that's what I've learned. I've learned a lot, and I've mentioned up front I'm a contrarian, by the way, so I'll share a little bit about that. But that's what I love most about being able to do what I do now, is connecting with people and inspiring, encouraging, supporting in some form or fashion, and just to hear the different life experiences, the different stories, and the different challenges that come up that people have faced and what they've done has been really interesting to me. So you and Shay were talking earlier about people starting podcasts, and I'll tell you my perspective is probably much different from a lot of others in that I only do it now, not for the business, not for the coaching clients or the potential that creates. What I do it for now is to enjoy it. Yeah.
My focus is if I can enjoy creating these conversations, having these conversations, I share it, maybe it'll help somebody else.
Yeah.
That's my only focus.
And I think that's such an awesome way of putting it. Jeremy, what's up, brother? Appreciate you jumping on. Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there. I think I look at it from the business side. I want to jump back from the business side of it. If you're having fun, enjoying it, and doing it, and putting it out, and the purpose of it is to, hey, if I share this, if it helps somebody, great. Then your mission accomplished.
Anything else is a bonus.
Right, and everything else is just, and I think when you take a step back and you take that approach, and you have your purpose, particularly a purpose that is helping others, everything else just kind of falls into place. It's not stressful. You have a good time.
It's not work.
It makes life a little bit easier, my opinion.
Not work anymore. My ideal world. So I started off in the world of coaching around career transitions and helping people navigate that. What do I want to do with work in my life? And the idea really is helping them figure out how to find work that they love, so it's not like work anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's good. How can people reach you? Anybody that's watching want to reach out to you, follow you, where can they contact you?
Yeah, so two best places are my website, danw.us, and my Instagram page is probably a good place to know way more than you should. And it's Dan_Warheide, WOERHEIDE.
There you have it, folks.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it,
and
brother.
it's fun to do lives occasionally, so I appreciate being here.
Yeah, no, it's I can't even tell you how many years I've been doing lives now. It's like I said before, I pushed so many years not to do it, and now I feel like I'm cheating somebody if I don't. So
Love that.
anyway, that's we're live, Charlotte, North Carolina, Empowered Podcasting. Stay tuned. We're going to have some pictures, maybe some shenanigans tonight. Who knows?
Yes.
But please make sure you go check out all the shows at heroesmediagroup.com. If you're interested, send us an email, info@heroesmediagroup.com.
Oh, wrong button.
And check out our stuff. Make sure, if you have questions, send us a direct message. Again, the email is info@heroesmediagroup.com. We'll have some pictures about tomorrow, some of the breakout sessions and stuff as well. I totally forgot what. That's it. That's it. Oh, no, that's not it. That's not it.
One more.
Here's what else. This here. I'm setting up a podcast. Nice, Jeremy. We need to talk. Here's the other thing. This weekend, shut the phones off, get off the computers, turn the TVs off, get outside.
Go surfing.
Get outside, go have fun, get out in nature. God bless you. God bless America. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.